Hello everybody! As you know, part of the authenticity of LiveFit is that I share my real life with you, the things that I actually do. And this week I did something really dumb, and I want to share it because I really hope that nobody else makes this kind of choice, but I'm just going to share it as a preventative. So what I did was I went running by myself, as I often do. I did eat before I left. I had an apple and a cup of coffee like I do before a run every time, but I left in a hurry. And I left without the little belt that I usually wear around my waist. So the things that I did not have with me was I didn't have any water. I didn't have any ID. I didn't have my cell phone. Life basics for going for a run in safety. I went out my front door, nobody knew where I was going or how far or when I should be back, and I embarked not on a short run, but on a 7-mile training run. So it was going to take me over an hour. Plus, it was a warm morning. It was fairly early, but I could feel the day was warming up, and it was also pretty humid. So no water is like really, really, really dumb, let alone not having a cell phone or nobody knowing where I was. So what happened was I got about 3 miles into my run, and I was trucking along. I wasn't pushing it. I wasn't trying to set any records, but I'd kept myself moving, and I had to pull up at a traffic light. It's rush hour and there's a lot of cars and no jaywalking at that time of day. So I had to wait for the little green man to tell me to cross the street. So after 3 miles of running, I stopped dead. That was the next dumb choice, because what happened was all the blood pooled in my legs and there was none left in my brain, and I nearly blacked out. Which would have been very, very embarrassing, not to mention dangerous. But I mean, I'm not kidding about nearly. Like, the whole world went dark and I had to hold on to the street sign to stop from going down in front of like 700 people who were stopped at this busy intersection. And also I nearly threw up as well, which was great because that would have been really embarrassing. But embarrassment aside, that's a safety issue. And so, as I said, my choices were bad. No ID, no cell phone, no water, out there by myself. Bad choices. And, I just couldn't believe it as I was standing there clinging to the pole and waiting for the blood to come back up out of my legs and back to my head and trying not to throw up on my shoes. I talk about workout safety all the time, and here I was breaking all of my own rules. So I really wanted to share that with you because, if you do go down when you're out there, if you get hit by a cyclist or a car, if you have a medical emergency or something like that, somebody should know where you are. You should have a cell phone. If I'd had mine, I could have called Jason. He lives 2 miles away. He could have come and picked me up. Or at least my name and phone number with me so that, as the medics were trying to revive me, that they'd know my name or something. These things are really important. What if you're diabetic? You should be wearing a diabetic alert bracelet or something. These are basic exercise safety tips. And for whatever reason, the other morning, I forgot them all. And, it turned out fine. I finished my exercise, I made it home, it was okay, but it really brought home to me that no matter how fit I get, no matter how smart I think I am, sometimes I still make bad choices. So like I said, I wanted to share those with you so that nobody else makes that choice, because, what if I'd gone splat? It wouldn't have been good. Now, there are a few other things that, seem obvious, but sometimes we forget when we're out there exercising. They do recommend that you always run, facing into the traffic if you're, on a street, which mostly I try to stick to the sidewalk, but sometimes you're on a street, run towards the oncoming cars, because then if somebody's out there driving and texting or doing something equally silly, you can see them coming and get out of the way before they hit you. Always take water with you. It's so obvious, but, sometimes we forget. These things are really, really important. Tell someone where you're going. Wear a hat. Really think about your route too. And people who are super safety conscious will vary their route day in and day out so they're not running the same route the same time every day of the week. Because, I don't like to think about it, but there are some creepy people out there. So, if there's even a question in your mind about that sort of thing, err on the side of safety and make a better choice than I made the other day. It was a hard lesson for me to learn. Honestly, it really freaked me out. And so I just wanted to share that with you. So remember, take your ID, take your cell phone, make sure somebody knows where you are, and then go out and exercise and have fun safely and enjoying it and making good choices.